And tonight we begin with Barack Obama's foreign policy. Where does he mean to take us in Iraq and beyond? And joining me now is Susan Rice, Senior Foreign Policy Advisor to the Obama campaign. Susan, it's great to see you.
Laura, it's good to be with you, but I don't know where to go after back wax.
I know, that's kind of a bad segue, but what can you do? It's politics and the culture on this show. Susan, I know you're foreign policy and that's your focus, but any more clarification on that headscarf issue, removing people from a camera shot? That doesn't seem all that post-racial to some of us.
Well, I think you heard from the campaign that was absolutely unacceptable. What the volunteers did is absolutely not campaign policy. It's offensive to all Americans, and the campaign has apologized, as well we should have.
Let's move on to some of the comments that were made by the Iraqi foreign minister after Senator Obama's conversation with him earlier this week. Senator Obama came out and said, I'm encouraged by some of the progress in Iraq, but obviously wasn't going to change his mind on withdrawal. The foreign minister said this. He said, my message to Mr. Obama was very clear. Really, we are making progress, and I hope any actions you will take will not endanger this progress. And Susan, from what I understand from what Senator Obama said, they didn't really have that kind of conversation, but the foreign minister seems to beg to differ.
Well, Laura, I think, frankly, there's no difference of readout here. Senator Obama has always maintained that we will be as responsible and careful getting out of Iraq as George Bush was careless getting us in. We will withdraw our forces at a reasonable pace of roughly 1 to 2 combat brigades a month. We'll consult in advance with the Iraqi government, as Senator Obama has said on a number of occasions, and we will do this in a careful fashion. Obviously, it is in our mutual interest to use the fact of American withdrawal to try to support the Iraqis and encourage them to make the sort of political accommodations and reconciliations that they've refused to make so far. And that's at the heart of Iraq's civil conflict. It's a political problem. It can't be resolved militarily, and to the extent we can support them politically as we withdraw, we will enhance the security and stability of Iraq.
Well, you're not saying that the foreign minister was supportive of the idea of a 16-month period of withdrawal, though. Are you not saying that, are you?
The foreign minister understood Senator Obama's position about a responsible redeployment.
But he disagrees with it, clearly, right? I mean, he disagrees with it. He doesn't think that's probably the right way to go.
I wasn't on the call, but no, frankly, Laura, it's the Iraqi government that has said clearly they don't want permanent U.S. bases. They don't want the American military to stay in their country indefinitely. They understand that the American military will be withdrawing and that we will leave behind a residual to help protect our embassy and civilians and engage in counterterrorism operations against al-Qaeda. And if the Iraqi parties make political progress,
we'll
continue the training.
Progress.
No, they're not making political progress yet.
Well,
but we'll continue the training.
They're making progress on all fronts, and even the Associated Press had to report that yesterday when they talked about the security gains. But let's move on to another point.
No, let's not move on, because this is important.
Right.
Security gains have been made.
It is important.
But the point of the surge, Laura, was to create the political space so that the Iraqis can reconcile. That hasn't yet happened. The point of the surge is to win. Yeah, the point of the surge is to win. But the definition of winning,
we all want to win, right?
The definition of winning, as provided by George Bush when he launched the surge, was political reconciliation.
Yeah, but does the Obama campaign want us to win in Iraq, or have you guys concluded that we can't? There's just no way.
The Obama campaign believes that it was a massive strategic blunder of historic proportions to get into. Can I finish my sentence?
Sure. I just asked you a yes or no question.
To get into Iraq, and that we have to be responsible getting out and maximize the chances of a successful outcome in Iraq. But when you make a massive strategic blunder, you certainly reduce the chances of a successful outcome. Absolutely. Every American wants us to succeed in Iraq. But success is difficult.
Well, we are succeeding.
Well, Laura, what's the definition of success? George Bush says
How about security improving and the people being more optimistic?
That's very important.
Isn't there a Club Med setting up in Kurdistan? We just read something in the Washington Times today. It's like a $4.6 billion development project. Homes and apartments and hotels.
I'm sure you'll be looking forward to taking your vacation there soon.
I wouldn't mind, actually. It sounds pretty good considering housing prices in the United States. One final point. On MSNBC this morning, Susan, you called President Bush's foreign policy stupid and that McCain would essentially continue that. Do you think that's all that helpful? I mean, it's stupid, and then Danzig said something about we need a Winnie the Pooh foreign policy. I mean, this kind of seems silly at some point.
You know, the McCain campaign called Barack Obama delusional and naive. What is stupid, Laura, is a foreign policy that's left us less safe. Invading a country that had nothing to do with 9/11.
We haven't been attacked in 7 years.
Losing 4,000 American lives and spending $1 trillion on a war that had nothing to do with 9/11. While the people who committed 9/11,
things are changing.
No, this is the world, Laura. The world is that Osama bin Laden is free.
Change, though.
Zahra Lahiri is free, and America is less safe.
Yep.
That will change when Barack Obama is president.
Well, Susan, I really appreciate you joining us. I know there's some tough monologue and tough questions, but your stand-up for coming in.
I'm glad to be with you.
We really appreciate it. Thanks a lot.